subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to get all the latest updates.
Hi, I'm Hemant Sharma from Inkpothub Media. Today we have with us Ms. Harshita Gupta, who is a research scholar with Department of Management Studies at the IIT Delhi. She is pursuing her PhD in finance. She has done her graduation in commerce from University of Delhi and then masters in commerce from Jamia Millia Islamia. We are so glad to have you, Harshita.
Thank you so much, sir. It's lovely to be here.
So, Harshita, PhD is a lonesome uphill journey, and the connotation that always comes with it is that कब तक पढ़ोगे या कितनी देर तक पढ़ना है. So what made you break that thing and choose PhD as a career milestone in your research journey?
So I think basically, particularly for me, it was more a family thing than
Mhm.
anything else. Like when I was little, when I was in 10th class, when I just finished my 10th basically. So my elder brother, he like sat me down and he was like that if you continue with this field, you will have these
Mhm.
many career options. If you continue with this field, you will have these many career options. Which I think is I think that's what helped me choose this career very easily. Also
Mhm.
because a lot of my family members belong from this industry only, from this field only.
Mhm.
So I think I had that kind of environment in my house growing up because I could see everybody talking about, okay, that they taught this in the college, this is what
Mhm.
they are working on in this
Mhm.
field. And that shaped a kind of a like bent of mind in this field for me. So that's what happened. And obviously, like the way my elder brother helped me to choose, because
Mhm.
it was like a general common parlance in my family that for girls to go in the teaching field in lecturership, and for guys to generally go for some maybe some doctor or some CA kind of field. So it was a general parlance in my house.
It's a,
But my
it's a
brother,
very great move. I mean, I personally say that it's a very great move. I mean, letting a 10th grader sit and let them visualize what they can do, possibly do, is a very great move.
yeah, because he's like 4 years elder to me, so he knew that what happens afterwards
Mm.
and what kind of a life is there. So from his limited experience at that time, he sat me down and he was like, see, if you are opting for science, these are the fields where you can go. If you are opting for commerce, these are the
Mm.
fields where you can go. If you are going for arts, this is what you can do in your life. So I think his guidance at that time was really important because he also told me the pros and cons of different career options that I wanted to take, and how much my family and where my family can support me, from where I would get no support or no knowledgeable base from any of my family members. So I think that is how he helped me to choose commerce in 11th and 12th, and then after pursue this career. So in my 10th grade itself, I was like aware that this is the career path that I need to take. And there was no confusion in my mind after.
Right. So, how did your time at University of Delhi and Jamia Millia encouraged you to go on this path at a more speed and with more preparation?
So in my first year, I did some projects in University of Delhi. It was with that fest, that Antardhwani that they used to have. So there on, I worked on two projects. It was like making a homemade lip balm, and it was like making increasing the use of turmeric
Mhm.
with some other substance. So this is what we used to do. A professor of mine was whoever was guiding us with this,
Mhm.
and we actually spent hours and hours to make that homemade lip balm, to make sure that it is not expiring before anytime soon.
Mhm.
And then we were trying to look for substances which increase the utility of or the absorption, basically the
Mhm.
absorption is better, what the absorption of turmeric in our body. So we actually sat down, we researched things, and then we moved forward, we tested them. So
Mhm.
at that young age, with my professor, because at that time, like I'm from FYUP batch, that one that got rolled back.
Mhm.
So in my first year, we used to get that English and science and history and everything that we had to study at that time. So he was a science like my professor. He was from chemistry background,
Mhm.
so he helped us to move forward in that direction. So that was a really exciting time for me, and it made me believe that okay, research is like a good thing for me because I enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
Then also in my third year, I pursued to like have another, like take up another project, which was with the incubation center, I think, of University of Delhi. So therein we like conducted some surveys. We visited like 3 slums around our college,
Mm-hmm.
and we used to like have a team of 10, and then we used to go. We make the questionnaires on our own. Then we visited them. We interviewed like hundreds of people, and we got into that analysis mode after that. So that even helped me to understand that okay, this is the groundwork that I need to do if I'll go into a PhD program. If you're working on a qualitative project, obviously you will have to go there and do some surveys or maybe some interviews. So that also helped me a lot into believing that this was the right decision for me, because I enjoyed interacting with people there.
Great.
Then in my master's also, I found a professor who was very encouraging, very knowledgeable, and who actually helped me write my first paper. Who actually made me believe that if you want to go into this field, it won't be a very easy task. You have to have a lot of patience, a lot of self belief that I can do it. I can do it. That mantra you need to chant daily. And then he was the one who inspired me to definitely go into this field. Like, given a chance, I would have loved to work with him. And I still am in touch with those professors, and they still continue to inspire me. Like, he's a professor with Jamia Millia, and he's actually 95% blind.
Oh.
And even then, he used to like study before coming to us, teachers. He's a brilliant teacher. Like, I have never come across a more brilliant teacher than him, because I think my main inspiration for research came from him, because I used to think that the way he used to talk about research, the way he used to talk about the topics and the intricacies that we need to look in the topic and how you need to play with your data, it used to really fascinate.
I would suggest that you share his name so that we can give a big shout out to someone who is doing good work despite being.
Yeah, sure. So from my graduation, it was first of all Dr. Abha Mathur, with whom I worked on a project in my third year, and Mrs. Ankur also. And then in my first year, I worked with Mr. Rohit Bhatia. And in my Jamia, in my master, the person who inspired me a lot was Dr. Muhammad Atif. I'm still in touch with him, and still I haven't found a more brilliant teacher than him. Like, I have of course found great teachers, and I have still like I have great respect for all of them. But for him, I have like a special place, because I would say that he have encouraged me a lot. Even today, if I feel that I'm feeling having a bad research day. So I would be like that, sir, I'm so stuck, I don't know what to do. And he will just say that I am sure that you can figure it out, don't worry, just take a day out and you'll be able to do it. I think the similar thing my guide also do, because I'm grateful to her as well, that whenever I feel like I'm unable to do anything, she always comes to me and she say that okay, just don't worry, take some time out and make sure that you are doing things at your pace. Just don't stop them, just make sure that you are doing them, just don't come to a utter standstill, just keep on moving forward. Then she also makes sure that we are not always involved just in our research life and just in our professional life. She always advises us to have a balance between your work life and your personal life. She always say that it's very important that you are fine in your personal life as well, because only then you'll be fine in your work life. I think that that's a good thing that I've learned from my teachers. There are some great teachers at IIT Delhi also. I think there is one professor, PK Jain, everybody's known. There is one professor, Surinder Singh Yadav. He's also very nice and very encouraging person that I have found. And of course, I'm very thankful for my guide, Professor Shweta Singh, because I would say that whenever I feel that I have had some days when I feel that I want to quit, but I guess she is the one about whom I think, and I get some inspiration from her, that she always teaches me how to balance things out, how I need to move forward, and you know to come to her whenever I feel that, ma'am, I cannot do this. And if I'm having even a slightest problem, she would encourage me to reach out to her. So I think that's what you need when you are into this long journey. When you're into
Mhm.
PhD, it's a very long journey. You need that support from your teachers, from your peers, from your supervisor. It's really important, and I think that's what she is giving me, and I'm getting that support all around at IIT,
Mm.
which is very important.
Great. So what made you choose IIT Delhi for your doctoral studies?
So what I did was this, that I had a priority that I cannot move out of Delhi. I just wanted to stay in Delhi. That's where my family lives. I wanted to stay. So in Delhi, you have like limited options where you want to pursue PhD, which will provide you a good platform.
Mhm.
So I only appeared for like I filled up form only for Delhi University, Jamia, and IIT Delhi. And
Mhm.
fortunately, I got admission IIT Delhi. So this is how I like ended up here. It was my like prerogative that I don't want to move out of Delhi.
So what three words come to your mind when I say IIT Delhi PhD experience? One, two, and three. Three words.
So first is of course hard work,
Mhm.
not a piece of cake, not a straight line. Hard work. Next is thinking out of the box.
Mhm.
You need to expand upon your creativity levels, because when you enter such a place, when you enter such a platform, you have to do something which is novel, something which is new. So
Mhm.
obviously you need to think about it from different angles. Sometimes when the more education that you get, the more narrower your thinking
Mhm.
becomes.
Really becomes.
Yeah, because even while pursuing a PhD, you are so focused on your topic, on your area, that you just forget to read what is happening around you.
Mhm.
So I think it's a good exercise if you continue to read some snippets of some other areas as well. It might give you some idea for your own research. So that's very important. So that is there. And the third word would be, I would say, it's patience, which
Mhm.
you require a lot
A lot.
when you are into a PhD program, because often you tend to panic, and you tend to
Mhm.
try to rush things up, and that somehow messes with the way the process should have unfolded.
Mhm.
Because sometimes it happens that, especially when you're trying to submit a paper, or you're trying to submit a thesis, you would think that, okay, just let me brush it up, finish my things, and get it over with.
Mhm.
But you don't need to do that. You just need to have that patience, trust that everything will come at the right time, and just continue with your own pace, believing that you yourself have some limitations that you need to consider, and you also have another life outside PhD
Outside the PhD.
that you also need to live. So just be patient and work optimally.
So now we move on to the admission experience thing. So what is the selection procedure at IIT Delhi, and how was your experience while appearing for the admission thing?
So prior to COVID, they used to have like a written examination of
Mhm.
1 hour. It used to contain like two questions, two long questions, which you needed to answer, and then there used to be an interview.
So
But
this
I
was
think
in addition to the qualifying exam. Then you have a written
yeah,
exam, and
yeah, it
then
was not a qualifying exam per se. Basically, everybody who was appearing there, all the candidates, actually initially first they are filtered out on the basis of some prior set criteria,
Mhm.
and then a particular set of people are called for written exam and for interview. So you have
Mhm.
to appear for both of them.
Mhm.
Then during COVID, when things switched to online, the admission process was shifted a little bit.
Mhm.
Then you were required to submit like your research plan, a detailed, somewhat detailed research plan, and based on that, they used to filter out your application and then call you for interview. Now that we have resumed on the normal basis, I'm unsure of what they will do in the coming
Mhm.
admissions. So, as far as my experience goes,
Mhm.
the written exam was fine. It was perfectly good. It's somewhat like application based, so you need to just know your topic, your area. Like if you're
Mhm.
applying for marketing, you should know what is going on in that industry right now.
Mhm.
If you're going for finance, and the same thing, you need to be good on your GK, and you need to know what is happening around, so
Mhm.
that you can correlate with the answer that you need to have. And the interview was very interesting part
Mhm.
because the interview is generally of 3 to 4 minutes only, and then mine lasted the same time, around 2 to 3 minutes only. But in those 2 to 3 minutes, I was asked like 15 questions,
Oh.
because uh, I had this pre-play strategy, that whatever they will answer me, I'll answer it quickly, And if I cannot remember it within the 10 seconds that they have asked, I'll just politely say that, sorry, ma'am or sir, I am unable to recall it. So I followed this strategy there, because the longer time that you will take to do this, okay, let me think, the longer time that you will do this, the number of questions that they will be able to ask will be less. So it's always better that you just answer quickly, and if you don't know the answer, just politely tell them to please ask the next question so that they can evaluate you better.
So, what were the questions that were asked, and what kind of questions were asked in the interview? I mean, were they the research proposal based ones or your experience based ones?
It was a mixture of everything, I would say. Like, they opened my SOP also, there were questions from there also. Then I applied for the finance domain, so they asked me questions particularly from finance domain as well. They started with the easy ones, and then they went into the deep dive. So they answered mixed questions. They asked mixed questions from there also. Then also, like, before joining the PhD program, I had some prior research experience. I had worked on certain papers. I have got published onto certain papers. So they asked me from that domain as well. Coincidentally, they were like from very different areas, like from CSR, investment, like impact investment, and then there was like your NPA and all that. So they were able to ask me from different domains, which I was able to answer.
So, what are the two things that you feel they look out for in a candidate when they interview them?
This would be very difficult to answer, because I can only speak for what I feel. I am sure that different people have a different opinion.
Different opinion of it. What's your take on it? I mean,
yeah. So my take on it would be like this: that first they are looking for your potential. They know that everybody who is appearing for a PhD interview would have a sound knowledge, a sound background knowledge of the subject in which they are appearing. But what they want to know is this: that are you just coming in the research program because you thought that it's a fun idea, or that you actually want to stay in this field? They are looking for your potential, that if you can actually work on it. It's like they are there to build that structural foundation of research in you. They are there to do that. But do you have the potential to hold that foundation? So I think this is what they are first looking at. And then the second thing that they are looking at is whether you have that determination and that patience to handle that process, because the process is fairly not easy. There are a lot of moments when you will feel that you are in the wrong domain, you're in the wrong field,
on
you are
wrong
stuck
place, you made a
there.
mistake by being in there.
Yeah, because it's a long journey. PhD is not something which you will get in 1 year or 2 year. People are pursuing it for 6, 7 years also. So it's a long journey, and it takes like a huge chunk of your youth life. That kind of a phase where you feel like that I need to earn where you start get that feeling that I need to have a very good package, I need to prove something to people. You get that kind of a thinking. And then your friends around you would be earning so much better than you that you would, yeah, you would start feeling that, oh God, it would have been better if I would have taken a corporate job or something.
What have I got myself into type of thing.
Yeah, so you need to have that determination to, see through the process, that I will complete it no matter what. And you need to have that patience in you to allow you to understand that, okay, it's right now, this is a tough time, this is a tough phase, but down the line, it will reward you like nothing else. So you need to handle that. So I think these like two things that they are looking for.
So, now we move on to the qualifying exam thing. So, what are the preparation tips that you would like to share with the upcoming scholars, especially with reference to the UGC Net that you cracked twice? How did you prepare for it?
So when it comes to UGC Net, I had like a very peculiar approach to meet that. I don't think so anybody would have followed that. I basically like did a reverse engineering with myself, like crossed your masters, or even if you are in your masters, in whatever field that you are going for the UGC exam, you already know that you have the basic knowledge, right? But you need to identify that what are your strong points and what are your weak points, because only then you can work on them, right? So what I used to do was this, that there are many pages on Facebook which are dedicated to UGC Net preparation. So I joined them. I purchased like one health book which was Arihan, and there were other also there in the market. And Then what I did, I just started practicing the questions from there, because I knew that if I will start reading those 10 books that were required to do, I would lose it,
Mhm.
because I frankly had only 3 months to prepare for it.
Mhm.
And I already knew that I have a good, foundational base of some topics. Some topics I know were out of my notes. So
Mhm.
I just started with the practicing the questions. I practiced questions from those help books. I practiced questions from UGC Net page. A
Mhm.
lot of people put their query on there, and I used to answer. I used to stay on Facebook all day
All.
answering people's questions. At the same time, while you are practicing questions from the help books, now
Mhm.
often it happens that they have a wrong answer written in their
Yes,
answer key.
the key is mismatched or wrong.
Yeah. So first of all, I would definitely suggest this, that please, to the younger scholars, the aspirants who are there,
Mhm.
UGC aspirants, that please believe on yourself. Please know that you thought of the right answer. The answer key may be wrong.
Mhm.
So what I used to do was this, that I used to click a photo of that question in which I
Mhm.
used to have a doubt that, oh no, this is supposed to be the answer.
Mhm.
I used to click like a photo of it, photograph of it, and I used to upload it on every
On
pages.
the FB page.
Yeah, and people there are so quick to respond, and they will even tell you the entire detail, that
Step
how
by
did
step
they
thing, how to
arrive
arrive at that.
at an answer, right? And I think that's what helped me a lot, that
Mhm.
it built that confidence in me, that okay, yeah, I know the
I
answer.
know that.
And I also answered other people's query, which was also good. It was a good practice for me.
Practice for. I mean, so it's a very
Yeah.
great thing. I personally feel that offering and seeking help also always makes you better.
Yeah, that what worked for me. Then what I did was this, that this also helped me to identify that, okay, these are the sections in which I'm doing well,
Mhm.
and these are the sections which I definitely need to read up. So
Mhm.
what I used to do is this, that I used to read up those topics which I felt that I'm giving wrong answers in this. So I used to first read those topics up. So for 1 month I did just this, answer questions and make a list of the topics which I need to
Read up
thoroughly
and.
read.
Mhm.
Yeah. Then the second month I focus my energy on strengthening those topics which I'm already good at, so
Mhm.
that any question which you ask me from that topic should not misfire.
So not miss, and you have more likelihood of getting it right. Mhm.
Yeah, because see, the topics in which I'm weak, no matter how much, how many hours I put into it,
You may not be able to
will
catch up.
always be a weak point. It will
Mhm.
always be. But the topic in which I'm strong, in which I'm good, if I put even 2 3 hours on it, that would help me gain a
Mhm.
lot of knowledge. That would help me strengthen my strong points. So that's what I did.
Mhm.
That I strengthen my strong points, and at the same time I try to elevate myself on the weak platform as well. So that's what I did. Then at that time, I think OMR sheets used to be
OMR
given for
sheets.
the exam. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was at that time, it was offline paper. So I got an OMR pad,
You
and I
practiced
used
on that. I mean, you simulated everything at
yeah. So
home.
I got that OMR sheet, entire sheet pad, and I just used to time myself, that if the paper is of 1 hour, I used to give myself only 40 minutes to
Mhm.
complete the entire paper, to and while marking it on the OMR sheets, so that I would know that often students do that they mark the wrong answer.
Mhm.
I have done it. I have done it myself,
I
that I have
mean,
marked the
you know
wrong
the right
answer.
one, but you end up marking the wrong one.
Yeah, because in my mind it's going like I have to mark C, but I marked B.
And then all B's, all D's, and everything. Okay, great.
Yeah. So it happens like that. It has happened with me also. So I knew that I need to practice there. So that used to help my manage my time as well. So this is what I do, and it worked for me. It's a very different and peculiar approach, I would say, because often people first read up things and then attempt the questions,
But
but I felt that this is a better approach for
I
me,
mean,
because if I
that's such a relief. I mean, that's like as you said, that out of the box thing. Because then, I mean, what works, what doesn't work for many people, they may end up, I mean, trying their head on the process, which may not work for them.
yeah, because I know myself enough to know that when I'm in panic mode, I cannot do anything. So
Hmm.
I knew that if I would have started reading those 10 books, it would have been
It would
really
not
tough.
have
It
worked.
would have created a panic mode that, oh God, I have to complete 10 subjects in 1 month. That cannot happen. So I knew that, okay, let's just go go it the other way around, and maybe that will help
That
me.
will help.
And one more thing that I did, I also made made a list of the topics which I repeatedly forgot. Like there were some topics in which, like maybe some sections of tax or some year of some law, that I repeatedly I'm missing it. That this is the year, and I'm
And
repeatedly
that helped a
mentioning.
lot.
Yeah, so I made a list out of all of those things, which I kept on reading till the last minute of the exam. So that I know that, okay, this is what I'm missing. I should remember this, for sure remember this.
So Harshita, how has been your experience at the IIT Delhi campus so far as a scholar?
I would say it's really different than what I expected. When I entered it, I thought that I'm going to a college kind of a lecturing, that because I entered it just fresh out of my masters. So I expected the same thing, that it's a college and it will be a college kind of thing for me. But later on, I realized that this is not a college per se for me. It is a place of my employment now, because I'm getting paid to do something and I'm expected to put in like 8 hours a day of work. And obviously, the first year is your coursework year, so that can get really tough and really time consuming. You can get really tired during those days. I still remember that I used to, like, leave my place around 6:30, because I used to have a class at 8 in the morning, and then I used to come back at maybe 11, sometimes even 12 at night. Because generally my courses were like such that till 9 I used to have my classes. Not on all days, of course, but maybe 1 or 2 days in a week, or maybe once in a 10 days, that kind of a thing, because you have multiple courses going on throughout your semester. So this is how you have to manage.
So it used to
Then
get quite
I used to
rigorous and
be,
demanding.
yeah, it was, because I think it still is, because that's, I think, what's needed to shape that kind of I think that kind of a structure in your mind, the structure which is needed for you to understand that this is not a piece of cake. PhD is not a piece of cake. You need a proper planning, a proper discipline when you are into this course. Because the thing is this, as compared to other jobs, they have a structure of 9 to 5, right? That you are going into the office, you are reaching there at 9, then you are leaving at maybe 5 or 6 or something. So you get into that regularity of mode, right? You get into that mode of regularity. But in PhD, generally, you don't have that kind of a strict timings or something. Not every institution follows that. Some do, some I know, some do that, but not everyone does that, right? So you need to find that discipline on your own. So I think that coursework period, it used to demand from us that, okay, you need to go, you need to put in this much hours, you need to have this background, this like foundational knowledge with you before you can start your research. So that period was very tough. Side by side, it was very relaxing period also, I would say, compared to the period that came next. Because at that time, you were just focused that, okay, we have to just go there, study some subjects, gain that knowledge, and just like think around and fumble around the topic on which we want to do our thesis. After your coursework, there is that's the time when you actually feel that, okay, this is the toughest part of the journey has started now. Because then you get the pressure of that you need your publications, you need to understand your research topic, you need to look for something new, some novelty in that area. That is where your grunt work starts. that main grunt work, that's where it starts. So overall, it was a good experience. It still is a good experience that I'm having there. And I think anyone who wishes to join there or who wants to come there, they can be sure about it that it's a place to do some hard work, without which you will not achieve anything.
Right.
But it's also a place where you can build some good connections, you can learn from the professors. We have some really talented professors over there, some really good researchers, and you can learn from their experiences and their teaching style. Because generally, the people who are doing PhDs, they are supposed to go in this industry only. They prefer to go in teaching industry only. So if you're going in teaching industry, you need to learn the teaching style as well.
Teaching style, and yes,
A
nitty-gritty,
lot of people have
the,
knowledge.
the
Yeah,
case-based
like
approach and how to do the evaluations, class management, and all. Oh, there is so much to learn. Yes, agree.
exactly, because everybody has knowledge, right? Like you can get your knowledge, but how to deliver that knowledge is an entirely separate thing, which I believe professors have it. So you get to learn that as well, especially when you do teaching assistantship with them. So there also you gain that experience. You understand, okay, this is how I need to handle the class. Even handling the class is is a separate thing.
Task in itself. Yes.
Yeah. So in that way, it's like a very enriching and like experience in which I can say that I have grown a lot, I have learned a lot, and I can say, and like now I can confidently say that okay, if I want to go in this industry,
I'm getting
IIT
prepared.
was
I'm on the
like
right
the
track.
foundational stone that I found. Yeah.
So what are the three things that you loved about the coursework at IIT Delhi?
Okay. So first, what I loved about it was this, that it was very detailed.
Mm-hmm.
It was very demanding. It used to be really challenging. There were some courses which used to demand out of box thinking, that if you just think that you are there, you have read like a few books and you are attempting the paper, that will not happen. You really need to think about it, because the questions are not direct questions. They are more or less applied based question or case study basis question. So you need to really like go out of your mind that okay, maybe this can happen, maybe that can happen. I specifically remember a subject of mine that was business research methods. In that subject, the professor used to be like really focus on this, that I don't want regular answers to my question. I want you to really think about it and give me some original and some creative answer that none of the others can think about. The assignments that we used to get in that course were also along the same lines. That you cannot copy anyone else's work, you cannot discuss it with anyone else. You actually have to come with us something, I would say, a kind of like a groundbreaking idea to think that what we have to do next. I think which was I think it was a good exercise to fuel the creativity of the PhD scholars, which was nice. Similar things used to happen in other courses as well, where they used to teach us some case studies or some kind of other method. Some group projects used to handle given to us to be able to build that team building activity, team building quality in us, like that. And then there were some, like, they were term papers in which practically we used to just write a mini papers only. So that was like really good exercise that they have it. So one thing about the coursework, this is good. The other thing is this, that generally when you go to some other colleges, some private colleges or something, they generally have a 6 months course. IIMs, I believe, have a 2 year of
2 year course,
coursework.
yes.
Yeah, IITs have a single year coursework. But the focus that they have is not on just like gaining simple knowledge of or conceptual or subject knowledge. Their focus is to train you in different aspects of the research as well. And also they are still innovating on their coursework. They are still trying to make it more rigorous and more scholar oriented and like PhD oriented than anything. So that is a good thing about IIT Delhi, that they have that program there in place. And the third thing I would say it's the term papers that we used to write. That is the most important thing that I found in my courseworks, because those term papers in some of our subjects were generally like a research paper that you are writing. So a new PhD scholar who doesn't know that from where you are coming, it's not always true that people have some kind of prior research experience. It's not always true. So like if you don't have any prior research experience and you are coming here, you will find that those term papers would help you to understand that how to write a paper and
the
how to
whole process
collect
thing.
data. Yeah, everything, and it will give you a glimpse of how you need to work on the data and everything, and you will learn the methodology on the go. It will be like a hands-on training for you. So that was a brilliant thing that did.
Great. So three things you love about the IIT Delhi apart from the coursework and the PhD thing.
Okay, This is very easy to answer. So first, I love my friends actually. I met some really great people here. I have made some really good friends here. We have made, a kind of an environment in which all of us support each other to grow. So similarly, like with my seniors also, they are very supporting when it comes to your, your research questions and everything. Because I know when I was a young scholar, I used to pester my seniors a lot that how I need to do this, how I need to do that. So this is what they used to come in handy, and they still do. They still, if I have any doubt, I still go to my seniors and I ask them that like how do I get over this. Similarly, I was able to like mentor my juniors as well in a similar fashion. So I would say one thing is this, that you will find an amazing amount of people with whom you can connect on so many levels, because they would understand the journey which you are which you are going through, because not everybody can understand the
Yes.
plight of the plight in double quotes of a PhD scholar. But of course, your fellows can definitely understand. They can help you go through with the process.
And
So
they can
my friends,
empathize also. Having a tribe is a very priceless thing when you are going through this journey, which is personal yet very group kind of thing.
exactly, because it's an individualistic journey, but still it's really nice when you know that you have a group of people who are there to support you. Even if they cannot help you in your research work in any way, their support is enough. So you can build a really good support system, which I think everybody should do. If you are going into a PhD program, first thing you need to do is build a support system.
Build a support system.
Because that will, help you to stay calm, stay relaxed, know that things will happen at their own pace, and everything will, smooth out over time. So this is what's most important.
And what second thing and third thing about what you
So
loved at IIT Delhi?
thing which I love is, I think, campus. Campus is really beautiful, especially if you are staying there late at night, or if you are a hostler there. It's really amazing. And sometimes when you are having some cloudy thoughts in your mind, when you are tense, having a walk around the campus would really cleanse you out.
Relieve you and cleanse you out. Yes.
Yeah, it would really do. Like we have some, I think, a pack of peacocks are living there. So when it's a rainy season, you will see peacocks dancing around DMS. So that's another good thing which I find. So the third thing would be, I would say, coffee. CCD's coffee. we get it at a subsidized rate.
Oh, great.
So I think that coffee is really great, because sometimes it happens that you are in a very low mood and you don't.
Very gloomy mood, and then you need something to sip in and something the fragrance of the coffee, and yes.
Exactly. So that is something which is really amazing there, that you can get your own a small brownie cake and a cup of coffee. And that would relieve you of your woes that you have you had during the day. So I think that's another great point which I find about IIT.
Great. So how is your usual work day like?
Okay, so usual workday life is, I would say, is busy. It's hectic, and since I am in like the senior stages of my PhD, it's a bit
demanding,
nerve-wracking. Nerve-wracking.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's
very,
a bit
very apt word for someone who is in the final stages of PhD. You have been through a lot.
Yeah, same. So it's the thing is this, that you know that you need to go and work, like generally I like make a list that okay, these are the tasks that I need to do during the day. But somehow, obviously, the more tasks you write, the less of them you will achieve.
Yes, the less likelihood it becomes that you end up checking them off.
This like happens because when you wake up in the morning, you will be like this. Okay, I will do these 10 things today.
I am going to kill the day.
Exactly, but you get through only like maybe 2 or 3 tasks only, and that somehow disturbs the entire mood of the day. But it's okay, like it's going on, and I know that this is just a phase. It was not like that in earlier stages of my PhD, and I'm sure that when I'll be near the completion, I would definitely not feel like this. But this is the phase that I'm going through. That is why I know that right now it's very nerve-wracking, it's very tiring, and it's very like busy. Busy
So
schedule.
when do you at what time do you reach your office, and at what time do you leave?
Okay, so generally, I try to go there around maybe 12.
Mm-hmm.
I leave like a bit late because I think that is the time when I can get some work done. I'm generally a night owl, so I prefer to work more at night. So that's why I'm like that, okay, let me reach a bit late to the campus and I'll leave a little bit late from the campus. And in that duration, even the lab will be empty, mostly empty. So I would get some quiet time there and I can sit and write. So more or less, it will be like maybe 12 to 8 will be my schedule, that I will reach there maybe at 12 and leave by 8 or something like that. Or then it will be like this, that if I'm going very early, then I'll reach there by 10 o'clock and then leave by 4:30 sharp because then I don't want to get tangled in the traffic.
With the office traffic. Oh, great.
Yeah, that's it.
So what makes an ideal work day for you?
When I can genuinely come home and there is no task left on my
Task list, and you have written substantial work. I mean, you have written substantial work on your paper, and you are clear that the today's task is done. Now let's play tomorrow after the rest.
See, over time, I have realized that instead of being too much, instead of being putting too much pressure on myself and being too hard on myself, it's better that I assign small tasks for me and just be happy when I'm done with them.
Done with them.
So even if I have written just 4 tasks in my task list, I just want them to be done. So when I'm done and I come home and I know that my today's task list is completed, I'm happy. I'm relieved, and frankly, at that moment, I feel like that okay, I now deserve a break, and I can now spend time with my family or my friends or my fiance or whatever. That now I can do something which I like. I can pursue my hobby side by side. I can read or whatever I want. So that's what an ideal day for me. That where I can make time for my work and at the same time I can also balance it with my personal.
Great. So, what is your favorite hangout spot? You told me that it's the CCD place, but then I mean, if it's anything else, then you can also share.
It's CCD also, and then there is a shop like opposite CCD. We have a small kind of a shack in IIT Delhi, just below the central library. I find that great as well because generally I often spend a lot of time in IIT Delhi library, main library. So there, when you get tired and when you feel like that, okay, I'm done, I cannot move another muscle now. So I go to that shop. I like pick whatever appeals to me at that moment, and then I just sit with me quietly or with some of my friends. I just sit with them. I spend this quality time, and that relaxes me a lot. So that is the spot which I love. Then if you go just opposite to IIT Delhi, there is a SDA market. In SDA market also, you will find like some good restaurants which we like to go. There's barista also, which we often enjoy. There's some other restaurant also. I'm forgetting the name. If you'll give me a minute, I'll just think about the name as well. So those are like good places which we like to go and hang.
So, Ashta, you have been a very voracious, self-driven learner and a rank holder. Would you like to share a few time management and productivity tips with our aspiring scholars? 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. So you're asking for time management and productivity tips, right? So one thing I would say that just if you want to make sure that you are completing something in the time frame that you decided, in the deadline that you want to keep, just make sure that you have like put up a lot of, I would say, alarms that I do. I generally put like a lot of alarms in between that okay, I have like 4 hours to complete this task. So I would keep an alarm in every hour to just remind me that okay, now I have 3 hours left, I have 2 hours left. just because I think human brain, na, if you give them this much amount of time, they would work in this much amount of time. You just
Also,
need to pressure them a bit.
usually the
It's
tasks
just
expands to fill the time.
it's just like what happens in your examination hall. Like when you have like 3 hours to write a paper, you have 3 hours only. So you somehow manage to complete the paper in that time, right? So I apply the same strategy here, that I would just keep on reminding myself every hour that I have just this much time left to do this much task. So that is how I try to manage my time, to make sure that I'm not skipping any deadlines. Although, of course,
Sometimes it does happen.
yeah, at times I do end up skipping
We all are,
them
after
more
all.
often than, yeah, more often than I would prefer. But still, this is how I try to keep myself in check. So number one is that put a lot of alarms there. Second thing is this, that I find it better to plan my day a night previous to the day, because like I'll sit at night and I'll plan the next day, that this is what I have to complete. So when I already have a task in my mind for the next day, now it would save like minimum an hour of my time in the
Yes,
morning.
a lot of time. Yes, you can just jump into the
Yeah,
task stating.
exactly, because it would save that chaos that I would have in the morning, when I'll be like, oh God, what I need to do? I need to do this also, that also, because I'll have like 10 things lined up. So if I'm plan like, organizing it a night before, that will allow me to keep a cool head, a clear head, and a calm demeanor throughout the day, so that I can finish all of that task without getting in that panic mode, I would say. Yeah. So the third thing would be that if you want to, manage your time well, and if you want to increase your productivity, is that you be satisfied with even the little progress, the littlest progress that you have made.
That means
Even if
not to
I
be too
have,
hard on yourself is.
yeah, even if I have written just a paragraph in a day, I try to be okay with it. I try to, tell myself that it's fine. I just had a bad day, that I just could write only one paragraph, but one paragraph is always better than no
Yes,
paragraph,
no
right?
paragraph. Progress is progress.
Yeah, so progress is progress. So just make sure that you are doing something regularly. Like these days I'm trying to build a new habit, which is like this, that I just need to do some research writing, maybe just for 15 minutes, for 20 minutes, but I have to do it daily. It may not help me at all in my research, but I need to do it, because regular writing and research writing are two different things. And you can be a good regular writer, like I'm a good regular writer, but in research writing it's a bit different, and there you can fumble a lot. So I'm just now getting into this practice, that maybe just for 15 minutes, maybe just one paragraph, two paragraphs, I need to do of research writing specifically. So I think that is a very good exercise if you want to increase your productivity in PhD. And if you can inculcate this habit from the day one of your PhD journey, that would help you a lot later on. I have realized this very late, but I think the the future scholars can realize it soon.
Great. So now the rapid fire thing, and then we should be done with most of the part of it. An early morning ritual or practice.
I always read a book. Whenever I get up, I read a book for half an hour. It can be anything. It can be fictional. It can be a book that I've already read. Anything which keeps me calm, which gives me that happy feel.
Happy start
Which
of
gives
the
me
day. I mean, the calmer start of the day.
yeah. So that is a ritual that I follow every day.
Great. A must-have item on your work desk.
My calendar. Because
All with
without
it.
that, nothing will happen.
Great. So, what do you do when you feel stressed and overwhelmed?
I talk. I generally talk to my fiance. If he is not available, I talk to one of my closest friends or my family. So I talk, because I think when I talk about my problems,
Then,
it becomes, I get a third person perspective over them when I talk about them, and the solution comes readily to me after that.
great. So it's like the support network alert. Me
Yeah, because then I'm able to step outside
step outside of
of
the.
it. I can just look at that situation from a third person's view, that okay, if I want to advise someone on it, then what I would do. So generally then I find my solution.
So, what's your latest purchase to increase your productivity?
A diary. I purchased a small diary.
Mhm.
It's like a calendar diary, and therein I write my daily task. I put
Mhm.
a big tick on them when they are
That
done,
is done. Slade.
and I put a tick on each of my tasks. And I even write smallest to smallest tasks. Put a tick on them just so that I can make myself believe that okay we
Okay.
are moving forward.
You have to move from the momentum gained.
Yeah, that I have 4 5 things to do in my life, and 3 of them are done. Perfect, great start, good thing.
Your favorite book.
I think it's a cliche, but I like The Host by Stephanie Meyer.
Mhm.
I like that book a lot. It's a romantic book. I'm a romantic person. I prefer romantic things. But the thing is this, that that book is somehow, it creates a kind of a creative mode in me. I don't know why, because I think the writing is so creative,
Mhm.
and the entire idea of the story is so unique, and it's I think it's something, it speaks to me somehow. So that's why I like read that book again and again and again,
Yeah.
especially when I'm feeling a bit low.
Oh, yes. I mean, I personally feel that you need to have that one book which you can go back to again and again and again and again, and feels you, makes you feel
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
Your favorite quote.
I think it is, progress is progress, even if it's small.
Oh, great. That's great. It was nice interacting with you, Harshita. And so that was Harshita Gupta for you, a research scholar with DMS IIT Delhi. Thanks, Harshita. It was
Thank you
nice
so
interacting.
much. I had a really good time interacting with you as well. I hope that my opinions and my thoughts help younger scholars to shape their futures better, because obviously I'm speaking from my experience, and experience helps, always helps like others to grow more, as
They
it has.
surely will. They surely will. And I personally also had a great time interacting with you.
Thank you so much. It was really good to have you.
It's great to see you all here. Thank you for watching our work. If you have not subscribed to Inkpothub Media, then please hit the bell icon and subscribe to our channel and support research celebrations in India.